So if you could glance up for a moment and see if any of these concepts were included in your conversations. Formative assessment, wave to me if you were talking about formative assessment. So the day-to-day data collection that will inform my instruction. Summative, okay. Progress monitoring, maybe including benchmarks as well. Did anybody talk about that? Performance-based assessment. We want to see what the students can do linguistically and in the content areas. How about adaptations and modifications? Were you talking about that? Just wave to me. Let's see. That's another topic that came up. Quizzes. Or maybe end-of-unit tests and projects. None of those. Co-developed rubrics. Yes? Okay. How about looking at student work? Yes? If you turn to page 71, SWELL refers to the protocol that Maria and I developed, but based on the concept from Teachers College Columbia, which is on 72, called LASW, looking at student work. There's also another framework for that, which is called CASTLE, Collaborative Assessment of Student Learning. So this is another avenue we're going to explore in this short segment before lunch. Have you talked about that? How you need protocols to be established to look at student work together. And finally, bridging over to the special education field, if your students need any additional services, collecting pre-referral data. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. What is missing from my list that your group focused on in your write-around or in your conversations? What else would you add to this list? Yes, please. Yeah, so that's exactly. So connecting assessment to lesson planning. That's the entire instructional cycle. Thank you. Yes?
Including students in the OSS process so that they're doing self-evaluation.
I love that. Self-assessment. What is the role of self-assessment? And going back to John Hattie's work, we referred to him a few times. He rates student self-assessment, goals set by the students with the students, as a very, very highly rated intervention. Okay, something else that's missing from there or from our conversation so far? Co-creation of what? Yes, so the assessment tools. So when you think of the assessment tool, the assessment measure, the assessment task, all of that has to come somewhere, and who is going to create them? So I appreciate that when teachers work together. You see why push-in doesn't work? You need to engage in all of these activities together. All right, anything else that we're missing? Yes, please.
I was just going to say, just to make sure that there's a conversation about both the content and the language.
Yes.
So that you're going to have the two experts, but just to make sure that beforehand you discuss, especially if you're going to, if you're dividing afterwards who's, evaluating the assessment, to say, okay, what are we going to allow, so that we're consistent, so that I don't just get all the EL assessments and you get the, the English-only students, but just to say, okay, on content, this is what we're looking for, language, this is kind of what we're looking for, but also taking into consideration how long students have been here and where, where they should be. So, so that it's not always so content focused all the time.
Exactly, and that's the point of the collaborative expertise from John Hattie's work, that we put together our individual expertise and efficacy, and that's always larger. The sum of that is always larger than just the individual elements of it. Yes, please. I'm not sure.
I think we assumed that it was the teacher and the ESL teacher, but from seeing the list, it seems to be like an IEP meeting or an RTI meeting, where more people are giving all the data, and it could be much more informative for the teacher.
Yeah, absolutely.